Hello, my name is M.K.Davis. I recently traveled to Winterville, Mississippi to visit a complex of Indian mounds. And, you know, these mounds were originally in the shape of pyramids, and they had a flat top. And from that point on, the pyramids were completed with wooden structures on up to the top, you know, to the point. And there were quite a few artifacts found, you know, around these mounds, and the story is quite interesting about the mounds. And I wanted to share that with you. First, let's take a look at some of the images that I took while I was there. I think that originally there were some 23 mounds in this complex. And here's kind of an artist's conception of how the mounds originally looked. They had plazas between the mounds, and the mounds were in the shape of a pyramid, and they had ramps going up there, and very much similar to what you see down in the Yucatan in Guatemala with the Mayan ruins down there, but without stone. The lady told me running the place that they're gonna set fire to it and burn all that brush off of it here in a couple of weeks. Here's one of the other mounds right there, and this particular mound right here had a set of stairs going to the top, which I did climb, and there's the view from up at top. Quite a tall mound, actually. And there's the top of the mound right there. And like I said, they had a wooden structure that completed the pyramid and went all the way up to the top, to the point. And you know, kind of just making my way through these images, you know, kind of fast, because I want to get to the real point of why I made this video. It's a very interesting story. And, you know, I'd like to get a few answers myself. There's always seemed to be something mysterious when it's regarding, you know, Native American sites and things like that, because they're very poorly understood, and they try hard, but a lot of times it's just a rubber-stamped explanation for what you see. These were all pyramids at one time, and you can see kind of the remnants of it. This is one of the causeways between the mounds. And we're get another view of the big one from behind it. It's quite an effort to build something like this. You know, you ask yourself, why would they want to do that, and why does it look so much like the Mayan temples but made of dirt? Well, this is an image right here that I probably want to discuss for a little while. It's a ceramic tablet, and it's about big as a dinner plate, maybe a little bigger than a dinner plate, and it's full of designs, artistic designs. So we'll switch to a little closer where you can see some of these designs right here. Interesting, isn't it? Very artistically done. And we just kind of make our way through these blow-ups, and then I'll back off and let you see the whole thing. It's this tablet right here that I'm keenly interested in because of what it has on it. You can see some of the remains of some of the traces of paint. You can see chips in it. You know, it's obviously an old artifact. There's even notches along the edge in places, and these designs are all in it, all over it. You can see the notch. You should see a notch. Yeah, there's a notch right there. And you kind of see a place where it's been damaged a little bit, right across the, you know, from diagonally here. And here's a filtered image, and I put it beside a sketch of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god of the Mayas. And that's in that little inset there. And just compare what's written on that little plate with that image. Now here I drew in, or kind of penciled in, to make the design easier to see. And you can see that it's quite similar to what you see there in the inset. As a matter of fact, you know, I'm not the only one who's recognized that this was a representation of Quetzalcoatl, the serpent god of the Mayas. And my next question is, what is a Quetzalcoatl, a Mayan serpent, feathered serpent representation, doing in Winterville, Mississippi? It's a place where it should not be, according to what's, you know, mainstream academia. Now here's where the story gets interesting. I got on Google and I just looked up feathered serpent and just clicked on images and was looking at the images, and I came up with this: that someone was making these pin-on buttons, like you pin on your lapel, any size you want, that were exact copies of this artifact. And he was labeling it, or he recognized that it was a feathered serpent, which is Quetzalcoatl. And I got to looking on this guy's website, and he said information from the designer. So let's just read what he has to say. But before we get to that, let's just take a look at his button and just compare it to the artifact there at the museum in Winterville. And I think that you'll have to agree that it is verbatim that design. So, this man claims to be the designer, but obviously he's not the designer. The designer passed away quite a number of years ago. And don't even know if the designer was even from here. So let's take a look about, see what this man said about it. You can read it here, but it's just, in case you can't see it or read it, basically in a nutshell, he says that he's obviously a Native American, and he claims to be the designer, and he says that not all designs are, that people that claim to be Native American in design are actually Native American, and that they had passed a law in Congress about that, and that if you knew of anybody who was ripping off people by saying they were Native American artists and then they weren't, you can hit that button right there and it would you can report them. But actually, his design was not his. So I don't know what he. Well, it's too late to give credit to the designer, the true designer, because he's long gone. But it seems pretty convoluted to me. You got a guy who's and I use the term ripping off, meaning copying. He's copying or ripping off possibly a Mayan artifact that should not even be in Mississippi, and then selling replicas of it as buttons to wear on your lapel as Native American art, and calling it a feathered serpent so he knows what it is. What's maybe lost in all of this is, what in the world is Quetzalcoatl doing in Mississippi? Maybe we don't know our history as well as we think we do. Anyway, I thank you for your time.